Hello, my name is Manfred John Jason Das, and this is my PSM1 presentation for my futsal court booking system, otherwise known as Futbook. First of all, I would like to give special thanks to my supervisor, Dr. Jamila Binti Mahmud, for guiding me through this entire process. So, the overview for this presentation covers the introduction, the literature review, the methodology selected for the project, and the requirements and analysis design. And finally, we will have a conclusion to wrap up this presentation. So, first of all, the introduction. So, to give you a background on the problem, futsal is a very popular sport in Malaysia. It's both a form of exercise and a form of recreation for thousands and thousands of people in this country. And you could say that futsal is as popular or maybe even more popular than our national sport, badminton. So more and more people take up futsal as a sport or recreational activity. But the existing methods of how you would book a futsal court are still somewhat in the Stone Age, because in most cases, courts use a manual system where you would have to call the court to check for availability and then commence to make a booking once you've managed to get enough friends. And to get friends to join the game, you would need to contact them on WhatsApp separately. So it's a very disjointed and inefficient process. So that's already a problem here because of how popular futsal is and how difficult it is to actually book a court. So the aim of my project is to develop a futsal court booking system so that users are easily able to find futsal courts and make bookings, but not just make bookings, but also edit or manage their bookings in case they need to change the date and time of their bookings. Another feature that I would like to implement in this futsal court booking system is the ability to host or join open games through the online database. Currently, hosting and joining open games is not possible. You would have to do it manually, and like I mentioned, you would have to speak to your friends on WhatsApp or whatever social media, contact them, and then you would separately have to contact the court and make a booking. So this system aims to make booking futsal courts easier and also improving the user experience, or improving simplifying the process in general. So another goal is that we want to increase the number of futsal court bookings while also reducing the number of errors that occur because of the manual system. So the objectives for the objective that will be pursued in the development of this project: to get the requirements for the futsal court booking system via survey, via our own via research, use an online database to design and develop the futsal court booking system, and finally, when the system is developed, to test it thoroughly, to ensure that all the requirements are met and it functions as intended. So the scope of the project is the development of the system and its modules that will improve on the existing manual system of booking futsal courts. So the system will consist of a search module, a booking module, an open game module, or a friendly module, as futsal games are called friendly games, and a report module, among other modules. So first, the literature review. So At this current point in time, there are three solutions that exist in Malaysia for booking futsal court. So the first one I mentioned, I talked about it a bit earlier, which is the manual booking method. So you would have to call the court, you would have to message your friends, or you'd have to walk into the court and then proceed to make a booking. Now, there are a couple of applications available. The first of which is Spotify. It is similar in a way to the proposed systems, but there are several differences between both systems that make Futbook a bit more interesting. And the second system is known as AFA Sports Court Booking. So this system works more similarly to Futbook, but the implementation of this particular system is aimed more towards badminton, and also they have a strong focus on automation, which Futbook does not have and feels that at this point in time is unnecessary. So the technology that is used for the development of Futbook, we use Visual Studio Code, Lucid Chart, Word, GitHub, Enterprise Architect, Flutter, and Android emulator, as it's designed to be a mobile application. So the methodology of the project. For this project, we are using the Agile model. So I quickly determined that it is the most compatible and appropriate technique for developing Futbook, because using the Agile framework, user stories are utilized to bring end user requirements into the development process. So instead of just developing an app without having an idea what users want, we go figure out what use cases really are really necessary and put those into the application. Also, Agile is great when you need to make changes in the requirements or in the app in general. So you can make small changes or even big changes, but these changes do not affect the system's functionality. So in other words, it's segmented in a way that it won't, changing one thing won't affect something else. And finally, Agile encourages the reuse of code. So you can reuse previously developed features and adjust them to make them function differently. So software requirements needed. Using Visual Studio Code, that is the IDE. So that will be used throughout the process. I'm very familiar with it and I enjoy using it. Android Studio. So this serves as an emulator for testing and development. So again, I said this is going to be a mobile application, and Android Studio allows me to do some real-time testing with a virtual device. And finally, Jira. So this is to monitor the sprint progress of the development, make sure everything is on schedule, and we are meeting the deadlines. We are meeting the deadlines and also meeting our goals for those deadlines instead of just meeting deadlines without achieving anything. So the hardware requirements. The first thing is a laptop. So I am using an Asus ZenBook Flip 14. It's got an AMD Ryzen 5 3500U at 2.1 gigahertz. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, 256 SSD. This is used for the main coding and the development of the system. And the other component is the smartphone, which is a OnePlus 6T. Now, this is not a real smartphone. This is a smartphone from Android Studio. Has a Snapdragon 845, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes ROM. So this is what I'll be using to simulate a real device and do some real-time testing. So requirements and analysis design. So as you can see here, this is the use case diagram for the project. So there's three actors here: the court owner, the player, and the court staff. So The court owner is able to generate reports and statistics from the court, so it is able to view how many bookings were made and the revenue generated, and also set prices and discounts. So it's common practice for futsal that courts have different prices on weekdays and weekends, and like after office hours, there's a different price to during office hours. So this will allow the court owners to adjust the prices when necessary, and also offer discounts to entice people to book a court. The other, as for the player, they are able to find a local court, so they can find a court in their area. They can search for a specific court, or they can even search for a court in a different area. They can join open games, which are hosted by other users on the app, or they can host an open game. Again, which is them having a game, them organizing a game where other people can join. Then they can also make their bookings through the app and edit their bookings if they need to change them. As for the court staff, they're able to view all the bookings but not make any changes to these bookings. And they are also able to generate notifications, which is something which is to notify users of available bookings or maybe available discounts. So the system architecture, we're using the model view controller architecture, where the Flutter framework will act as the view, and the coding, the Dart coding will act as the backend, with the model being the database, which is Firebase. So these are some prototypes for the app. As you can see here, there's a sign up page. There is also a sign in page. This is the side menu with the profile and other several tabs that will redirect you to other pages. And this is the reports tab or the dashboard, where you can see the number of bookings and the revenue generated and payments that have been made. So to conclude this this PSM1 presentation, Futbook, I believe, is an app that can revolutionize the way sports is enjoyed in Malaysia. It's not groundbreaking technology. Many similar things exist, just not in the sports sector. For example, Grab, Airbnb, those kind of things are very similar to what Futbook is going to offer. It's just that Futbook caters to the sports market. So I think that is the beauty of Futbook. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just making use of it. Thank you.